Hi there, Jamie Keat here today at Teachers Tech. Hope you're having a great day today. Today I want to show you how to use SharePoint to build a team site. So this team site is a place where you can store, share, and organize with your organization to really get some strong collaboration happening. Let's get started with how to use SharePoint today on Teachers Tech. SharePoint allows you to create a website for your organization. So what you need though is you need a Microsoft 365 account, whether that be for your organization or an education account. If you have that, then after that, all you need is a browser, something like Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Firefox, to create your website. Now I'm going to show you how to access this first, and I'm logged into my office.com 365 account here. And if you're trying to find SharePoint to know if you have it, just take a look at your apps on the left-hand side here. If you go down, you can see SharePoint right here. You can go down even more if you want to see all apps, and then you'll be able to find it right through here. So go ahead. Well, I'm going to open this up. Once you're in here, what you're going to see, first of all, if you are part of an organization with lots of sites that you're part of, you're going to see it right through here. You can also, if there's any sites that you want to be put into following, you just have to go ahead and click on the star and it will put it under following. Then you'll be able to see recent here. And if we look at the side here where you can go through, where you can see any sites that you're working on, you're going to see any news. So these are ones that part of all the ones that you belong to through your organization. And these are just your files here. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a new SharePoint site. And to do this, what we're going to do is just go up to Create Site right here, and I'm clicking on this. In today's tutorial, I'm focused on this team site. So with this team site, what you're going to have, it's a place that you can share documents, a really great collaborative space for groups. You can have document libraries there. And if you take a look at this communication site, which I'll do in a different video, this is more about communicating to your organization, not quite the same thing as this place where it's more of that connected group, because this actually creates a group for you inside Microsoft 365. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here. And for today's purpose, I'm just going to call it demo. So we'll see. And you can go through and edit any of these things after. But as I go through, this will create a group email address here. So this is one of the differences with the communication site versus the team site. You won't get a demo email address here. So here's the demo site address. You can see kind of the URL that it will be part of. This is where I can give a description of it, and I can change all these things later. This is the privacy setting, so only members can access this site. So we can also turn this public. Anyone in the organization can access this site. So you have to choose what you want at that point, and you can see we have language selection. I'm going to go hit next. Is there any additional owners to this? So in this case, I am going to add another owner here. I'll just put Kathy in here, and I'm going to add a member also. So then I'll log in after, and you can see what they're seeing, the differences between if they're an owner or if they're just a member of it. So I'm just going to add one more here, and I'm going to hit finish. And then it's creating the site here. So you can see right now, start designing. I'm getting this this thing that says browse templates. I'm going to show you how you can change templates to this later. And I'm just going to hit maybe later. But you can play with that right away if you want to choose a design. But I'm just going to show you how it works from this. So we have our demo SharePoint team site created now. And right now, I just want to show you how you can make some quick changes to placements of different parts on it. So I just want to give you a little walk around of what you're seeing on this website here. And now if we start on the left-hand side, this is the navigation menu here where when you're creating new pages, you can add it to here, or your document libraries, you can add them to here. If you click on different ones, you'll see if I go to documents, it brings me to that page. I'll just go back to home. The other thing I want to point out here, you can see we have a new, I'm going to drop down where you can create a new list, a document library, a page, and I'll be going through that, creating some of those for you in this tutorial today. We have page details. So when I click this, that's going to open up more details. I like the analytics. Sometimes organization they create pages. Do you want to know if it's getting used or people accessing this? When you click on it, it gives you an idea of the viewers on it, average time spent. So those are some good details for organization to see if they're actually putting up important things. Now I'm going to go just up top. I'm going to close this page details. We can see that I created a private group here, and this can be changed. I'm not following this, so in my homepage for SharePoint, if I wanted to hit the star, if I click it now, it'd be part of following, and I have 3 members to it. And in the middle, what you're seeing are different web parts. So this news is a web part. This activity is a web part. Quick links, web part, documents. Now, if I click this on this, you can see I can add new documents to this. And if people have the right permissions, they will be able to do this too. So they would be able to create a Word file right in here, or these other apps from Microsoft here. You can see you can create folder for organization. So you get to kind of understand already the capabilities for a collaboration site here. But let's say you want to start changing your site, because right now we can't. It's published just like this. You can go ahead and hit edit right here. And then once you do that, this is where you can start to make some more changes. SharePoint makes it extremely easy to edit this website, and you don't have to need any special skills to do this. When you're in the edit, so everything's turned on in the edit mode right now, if I go ahead and just click on any of these web parts, you're going to see I have some choices. I can edit the web part, I can move the web part, I can duplicate it, or I can delete it. So if there's ones right on there right now that you don't want, you can go ahead and delete them. Now, I'm going to go and just click on the edit here now to show you how quickly you can make some changes. So if I hit edit the web part, you get to see right here, this is a news source here. So I could select it from where the news source is. Then we have our layout. So if I wanted this in a list, if I click on it, you can see it quickly changes how it's looking on this. So you can go ahead and make the change on how you want. And then if you go down, everything is just going to be a slide, a toggle on or off, depending on what you want, whether you want to show the author, all these different things. We have a filter built in here that can filter out the news from the different parts of the organization based on what you're going to be putting in here, or you can even add a filter too. So again, if you click on any of these here, you'll see that you'll get this edit feature. I'm just going to click off of this, and just to show you how easy it is to move things around, if I hover over, so I can move it in a couple of different ways. If I click, I get the move here, but even if I don't, if I just hover over, you can see I'll have my move on my mouse. I can just click and drag it to the top, so I can start to move things around very quickly to start organizing the page exactly how I want, or you could delete different ones. Now you can even add more web parts that are there than what's being shown. And to do this, if I just hover across the top, whenever you see this this red addition here, if I click on this, you'll see that these are different web parts. They can do a search, but you get an idea of all the different ones that you can add. Do you need a document library, more places for links? We can put buttons in here. We can add images in here. I could put a link right to a YouTube video through here. So there's many things that you can do. Is there a list that you want to create to work through? So take a look at the different ones. A Twitter feed, so you could put a Twitter in there from your organization to see the latest tweets from there. So take a look at the different ones, try adding one. All you have to do is click on it and it gets added. You want it to see working right away, we can hit republish because until we do that, this doesn't take place for the organization. So you can see I quickly added a Twitter feed from Microsoft here. So I showed you how you can quickly add web parts or edit the web parts that you already have through the ones that got installed. But I want to just point out this edit over here. This isn't for a web part. This is for the web, how the page is laid out here. So if I go ahead and edit this section, you can see right now it's on 1/3. If I go ahead and add 2 columns, it evens it out. If you wanted a 3rd column, now I have another column where I could add more web parts too. We can even change the section shading background. So I'll pick this one, then you can see it really easily. And we can even make sections collapsible if we turn this on or off. So go ahead and try customizing a little bit more your SharePoint site to really get it the way you want. Once you're done making any changes, you can save this as a draft too. So if you don't want it published yet, but you do want it saved, you can save this as a draft. We can undo up top or even discard. But I'm going to go ahead and republish this as a site that my organization could see. And at this point, I want to show you how you can actually add some new pages to this on the left-hand side. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start, and I'm just going to do a page. So maybe you want to create a page and just give information, some graphics on it. I'm going to go ahead and click this. You can see we can go from blank, visual, or basic text. I'm going to go ahead and actually choose a visual on this, so it gives a little bit of an idea what things will look like. And I'm going to go ahead and hit create page down at the bottom here. And what you'll notice, we have this kind of this nice looking, easy to read page here. I haven't published anything. It has places for the text and everything and where you would put your information, but this is where you can quickly edit it and you're not worrying about design. So if I go ahead, I could put just whatever information here. I could click on the background here. I'm going to go to edit web part. And you can see that we have a color block, image, and title, where if I wanted to change anything, I can go ahead and make these changes. We have alignment. This is what is so great about SharePoint. You don't have to know anything about web design. You can just go through and check off different boxes and see what it does, or write different things in it. And until you hit publish, it's not going to be seen by your organization. So I'm just going to close out of this because I just really want to show you how you can edit. At any point, you can go ahead and type any information in here. You can delete any information. You could type whatever you want in here, and you're just using this as you can format your text how you'd want, add links. If I go ahead and click on an image like this one, I can go to my edit the web part. You can see I can resize, I can crop. We have these different options with alignment and reset back to it, but I'm going to just hit the web part here. We could change the image. So if I hit change on it, and I could even I could do an upload from here, but if I do a web search, I can check different things. So if I'll just go ahead, I'm going to go to teamwork here, and I can choose an image right from here, the bottom right hand corner, insert. And now I've updated that image. So everything works very easily to it. We can add text over the image right through here. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Again, to show this to your organization, you'd have to hit publish like this. And then you can see it's just prompted me to give some information, the page address, if I wanted to share it out. Now, if I take a look at this though, I don't see it under here, under my list here, under my navigation. I'll show you how you can add this to it now. So I want to add this page to my navigation right here. I'm just back on my home page. Everything's republished. If I go down to site contents right here, this will show me all the different things I have on my site, and you can look, and I have pages right here. So I'm going to click and open up pages. You can see I created this page right here, created by Jamie Keat. I can go ahead, and once I select it, up top, you'll get some options. So we could go share, republish, copy link. I could delete the page from here, or even make sure it's always pinned to the top if it's an important page. I actually want to rename this. Before I put it over here, I'm going to rename this. And there's a few different ways we can rename this. If you take a look at the ellipsis here, if I click on this, you can see rename here, and I get these different options that I showed you up here through there too. So I'm going to just choose there. I'm going to rename this, and let's say this is a marketing page here. So I'll just call it marketing. I'm going to say rename. Now I want to take this marketing page and put it on my navigation link, and you can see it's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and just like this, so you can get in the habit of clicking it a bunch of times. You don't see it right here, but it is there. If I go to home now, you can see marketing is there. So don't go ahead and clicking it a bunch of times, because it will put it there on the page every time you click on it. Just click on home to double check that it is there after that first click. Now I can take this off too. If you don't want this on your navigation, or you want it as a sub page to something, if I click edit here, again, take a look at this. So under marketing, I could go ahead, move this up, move this down. I can actually drag it up and down too, but I can edit here. I can make it a sublink, or I could remove it. So if you want to take something away from your navigation navigation on the left-hand side here, just go through this. So as I said, if we make this a sublink, you can see how it's moved in, but I can move this around very quickly and move it back the level up and make it not a sublink too. So those are just some things about navigation and making your pages appear on the navigation. If you want to push news out to your organization through an article, it works very similar to what I just showed you with creating a page, except you're going to pick a new category, different category. You can see up top here, if I drop down, there is a news post that I can pick. The other way we can do it, let's say I'm just going to go edit and add a web part right back up top here again. So I'm going to hit this add here, and you can do searches for this. I'm going to say type news. I'm going to add this one here. And so again, I could go ahead through and edit it like I showed you before. I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to hit republish on it. Now at this point, I could go and hit add news at here, and it's going to create the same thing. If I go new and go news post, it's going to bring me to the same part here. But if you want this to be pushed out looking like this, where your organization would see the news at the top of the page, you just go ahead and do this. And then you walk through and just add it to the page. Just like I showed you with the new page, you can go through and edit and put your content in. But I find what makes SharePoint such a great collaboration spot for groups is the document library. So I could go ahead and create a new document library. You can have more than one. I just want to point this out, document library. I'm just going to use the one here, this documents here, and just show you the different things that you can do with this. So right now I don't have any documents in here. But the information, if I put a document in here, it can be shared and worked on together with group members. So I could go ahead and start a new document from here, or maybe we're working on a presentation. I could choose PowerPoint. PowerPoint's going to open up. Maybe we have to have it for the marketing team here. So I could go ahead and give it a name. I'll just call this marketing team, and we'll just go like that. And if I go back now to my documents, you can see inside here, it's here. Now, everybody can work on this. That's part of this team in live time. If I click on this right here, you see the different options from the share, and I mentioned it up top. We can get to it too, but we can take a look at who would have that share in here. If I drop down, I can change this if I want, can edit or can view on this too. We also have who's getting access to this. Is it just people inside this organization, people with the existing link, or specific people? So you can go ahead and adjust these too. But right now, anybody that is part of the group will have this that they can work on together, and they could add more files to work in here. You can change the views of this too. So if you take a look at this, if I drop down, I can go from a compact list to tiles, and it will quickly change the view. I can drag here's a Word document I'm just dragging from my desktop, and it's going to take this and put it into here. You can see it's uploading that one item, and it just is a little bit larger on it. I can even take a video and upload it into here. And once it's uploaded, everybody's going to have access to it. So now I have these different files uploaded to this shared place. You can see I have a video that they could watch through here. This was a larger file that I just dragged and dropped from my computer, and now people can open this up, and it's going to open it up in Microsoft Word, and then they can start editing it from there together. I want to show you a couple more things to know about in the document library when you're working together collaboratively and you want to make sure you stay on top of things. Or let's say if someone changes something and you didn't want it changed, there is version history inside this too. I'm going to right click on this document here, this PowerPoint. Let's say somebody made a bunch of changes and you want to revert it back. Take a look here. We have version history. If I go ahead, click on that, it's going to open up the version history. Right now I don't have any, but if this would be the original, if other people worked on it, you would see other names come up and what they did, and you can always click on the one that you want to revert it back to if there were some changes you didn't want. The other thing I want to point out, what you can do, if I go ahead and right click on it, you can alert me, you can click alert me when you want to know if somebody's working on making changes on that document. So if there's changes on it, you can be alerted based on that document. So you can go through, and whether you want an email, do you want a text message, go through and pick how you would like to be alerted. So inside these collaborative environments, I think those are two great things to be aware of in the document library. I just want to show you a couple other things you can add to your team site to really help with collaboration. One could be a list. And if you take a look at this, we have a list right at the top. And I'm going to go ahead and choose this. We do have templates we could have, we could use right here that you could just follow along, and we'll have things already set up for you. I'm going to go ahead and do a blank list just for this demo here. And I'm just going to call it Great Ideas here. So I'll call it Great Ideas. And I'm not going to worry with the description. Do I want this in my navigation on the left? I could check this or uncheck this. I'll go ahead and hit create from here, and it's going to create a list that people could add right to here. So if they get another great idea, they could tell you about, an idea. Well, I'll just put less work. They could add an attachment. They could add links to it, and then we have this then we have this inside our list. And we also have it over here on the menu. Now, the other place we could put this, if I go back at this point, and I'm going to go to my edit, and I'm going to go on the right-hand side here. I'm going to go and hover over and just click, and I'm going to go and type list here. If I click on it, and you'll see that the list is there created. So now I could go ahead and put this on the front of the page, republish. So if people are coming to the front of the page, they would see it right there, but they could also create it from there. So they could add a new item from the list right on the front page. Another thing you might be interested in adding to your SharePoint site is a way to kind of collect surveys or ask questions and collect that information. If I go up here and hit the plus here, I'm going to go ahead and look for forms right here. So I'm just going to click forms, and you can see Microsoft Forms. So what it's adding here is you can create a survey, a quiz, a poll, and put it right here. You can go ahead and create a new form. Maybe you have an existing form, you could add it here, but you could go ahead, hit new, name it, and then walk through the process of creating a form to collect that information. I do have a tutorial about Microsoft Forms, and I'll put that in the link down below, but then they can go ahead and answer the question that you put out there and to get some quick feedback from your organization. You can see I made a quick change here with the way how it looks in all the colors, and that's what I want to show you how to do now. Before I was mentioning about templates and themes to change it, it's up in the gear right here. So if we go to settings, you can see that there's the change the look. So if I hit change the look and go to theme, I can go ahead and choose the different themes that they have set here. So and it shows you what you have currently. And then when you find one that you like, you can go ahead and just hit save at the very bottom. So if I was going to leave it in this dark blue, I'll hit save. The other thing I want to point out, I'm going to go back and I'm going to click change the look again and look at the header, how we can make more changes. So as I click on different ones, you can see how the header is changing based on what I'm choosing here. We have our background, we have our display, site logo. So if you want to change the logo, that's where that D is up here. We can hit change and we can go find that file, upload it, and it's going to take the place of that one. So those are just some quick changes you can do inside your just with the change the look. The other thing I want to point out is under apply a site template. So if I go to apply a site template, and you might want to do this from the very beginning when you're creating your site, you could choose one of these ones right here. So if I go, let's say training and courses, and I'm going to use this template. Now it's taking that template and applying it to the work that I've already done on it. So you can still see that I have my documents here. We still have my links that I put on here for marketing, but it's added a few links here. And I can go through and edit any of these just like I showed you before. If I go and click the edit, if I wanted links on any of these, I can click on these individually and I can go edit. And at this point, the links, it shows me where it's linking to, the title on it, and I can change the icon. If I hit change here, you can quickly pick another one and just using that template, make those changes, type what you want, link it to where you want. But the templates there's some nice looking sites there that will make things look pretty professional in quite a hurry. The other thing I want to point out to you is the permissions. If I go back to this this gear here, you can see I can add pages from here. I showed you a different way, but we have site permissions and site information. If I go to site permissions, if I want to add more members to this, I can go right from here and add members to the group or share site only. This shows me what each members will get on it, so you can open them up to see what control that they have on it. So that's where you're going to find site permissions on these ones. And if I go to site information here and click on this, I can go and change my name on here. So if I didn't want this to be demo anymore, I could go ahead and change it. I can change my privacy settings, and I can even delete the site from here. So when I hit save, this will make the setting to it, and I'll reload it. And then you can see Teachers Tech up here. And then I could go upload my logo and put it in place right here. So it's very, very easy to make those changes to your site. One of the last things I want to show you here is down in the bottom left-hand corner, and that is adding Microsoft Teams to this. And it can be done very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and do this now, add Microsoft Teams. And you can see it gives you some ideas why you would want to be using this. If you haven't used Microsoft Teams, I'll add that down below, that tutorial I have on there. But I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to say pin resources as tabs, and then I can go through and pick which ones I want. So do I want any list pinned to these? So as I select, and I'll show you when I open up these, and I'm going to pick this is already picked. I'm going to go ahead and add to Teams here. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up my Microsoft Teams, and then you can see the site that's over there now. So I've opened up my Microsoft Teams here, and you can see there's a Teachers Tech team. This was the one that was created through that SharePoint site. And if I look across at the tabs under General, you can see I have great ideas. That's the list that I create. So if I click on great ideas, you're going to see I can actually, the team could add these ideas to here just like they were in SharePoint. If I go to my files, If I go back a level, right now I'm in general. If I hit documents, take a look. These are the ones that I uploaded inside my SharePoint. I can even go to the site because I have a site tab right here, and I can even make edits inside here. So Teams gives another place of that great collaboration area, and it's all connected through SharePoint at the same time. I could go and add even more tabs. If you have different document libraries, you can see what you can add from here to add more tabs to your Microsoft Teams. So do remember that your SharePoint can connect to Microsoft Teams after you're creating it. You can create it and send it over here. I just want to show you another spot where you're going to have access to your files that you've uploaded in SharePoint, and that's in OneDrive. So I'm going to go up to the app launcher up here and go to my OneDrive, and you'll be able to see that I have a Teachers Tech quick access here. And not so I can go to my Microsoft Teams and access files there, but if I click on this, you can see I have the same files that I was uploading to SharePoint, or if I was doing it to Teams, they would be right here. So Microsoft makes it easy to access those in many different places. I wanted to show you, I'm logged in here to a person's that I added as a member here. So nothing's popping up here. I can do a search if they're looking for a certain site, and they could go ahead and click on it. And at that point, they could follow or unfollow through here. So as soon as they hit follow, so this is following here. Now, if I go back to it and click on their following, you're going to see that it becomes up as frequent here too. So this is where the true collaboration comes in with the people that you add from your organization, the members to here. They can go to, whether it be, here's the documents, we could go create a document from here. Maybe they want to start a presentation and save it in to that point. Then they'll be able to do that, and then they can start that instant collaboration with their groups. So I hope you like this walkthrough of this beginner's tutorial on SharePoint. I showed you a lot of different information for it, and there's still more to learn, but hopefully this gets you started on creating a SharePoint or working with them within your organization. Thanks for watching this week on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next time with more tech tips and tutorials.